Okay, I've just returned from Kong Skull Island. Um, Went to see it with my mom. She doesn't like 3D very much. The glasses aren't very comfortable, but that was the only screening that was available to us because we had to go during a matinee. So we saw it in 3D. I like 3D. I can take it or leave it. If I really love a movie, I do kind of what John does. He'll see it 3 times. He'll see it once in 3D, once on an IMAX, and once in 2D. I can tell you right now, having seen it, that it's definitely a movie I'll be seeing again. Um, Probably 4 times in the theater. That's what I've been averaging for the movies that I really like. That's how many times I saw Rogue One. That's how many times I saw the Gareth Edwards Godzilla. Um, this is the second movie in the MonsterVerse, which makes it sort of a sequel to Godzilla. But it's a very different movie from that one. Um, in that movie, we're very much building up to the creature's appearance. Here, we get the creature right away. Like within the first minute, we see Kong's hand, and that's nice. That's a nice thing to know that you're not going to have to wait around. I will say, Peter Jackson's Kong, the build-up was absolutely necessary, and no movie is ever going to top Peter Jackson's Kong for me as far as monster movies. But they don't have to. This is a perfect Saturday matinee. It is Saturday that I saw it during a matinee. It's exactly the kind of movie it was supposed to be. You don't really need a plot synopsis, but for anyone else who might end up watching this, there are strange signals coming from an area. I'm going to call it Monster Island. I don't know what it actually. It's near Vietnam. Maybe they're in Vietnam. I know they filmed in Vietnam and in Hawaii. The whole thing is a Vietnam allegory. They end up. John Goodman ends up convincing Monarch, which is the MonsterVerse version of Shield, what you get in the Marvel movies. And he goes to Monarch and he convinces them that he needs funding to go on this trip to investigate strange readings he's been getting. And they won't give him the funding, but he does manage to convince them to let him piggyback on a military mission. It's in '73, so I guess this is the tail end of the Vietnam War. Yeah, it actually is, because they show clips of Nixon saying that they're going to have a peace with honor and all that. So it's tail end of the Vietnam War, and they go into this jungle atmosphere, and immediately, almost as soon as they get there, they get swatted out of the air by Kong. And from then on out, it's just a survival situation. They're accompanied, it's a military group, accompanied by John Goodman and his sidekick, and then they hire a guy who, I'm not sure what he does, Tom Hiddleston, what he did. I guess he's a guy who finds people, places and things. He's sort of a bounty hunter sort of thing. Keeps people safe. And Brie Larson plays a war photographer. She's my favorite actress. She's been in 2 of my all-time favorite movies, Room and Short Term 12. And it's always great to see her. She isn't given a lot to do, but she does well with what she's given. It's an action movie. There's not a lot of time for pausing and having deep moments. There's no time for that. There's just monsters fighting all the time. I ended up having to go to the bathroom a lot, so I missed the first part of the spider fight. There's a spider attack that's pretty spectacular. There are pterodactyl type creatures. I'm not sure exactly if they are pterodactyls or I don't know if they're just a new Cloverfield type thing. But they're cool, menacing. And our main villain, our main monster villain, are these things that John C. Reilly calls
Skull Crushers.
because that sounds cool. He says it's fun to see Kong tear him apart. At times, it feels like it does need a little bit more character moments, but I'm just going to let that go because they delivered the goods. They earned the money for the popcorn. John C. Reilly was somebody that I know some of my friends, you particularly, Carrie, was worried about because a lot of people thought that he would turn the thing into kind of a jokey movie, but I don't feel that way. I thought, there were a couple of jokey lines, but he played it straight mostly. Yeah, I think he gave the movie its heart. I did like the Apocalypse Now kind of vibe. They used maybe too many rock songs of the era, but it's a shorthand. You only have 2 hours to tell your story, and you want to get the atmosphere set, so you can do it that way. Let's see. The fights were just spectacular. My mom's complaint about Kong was that, as realistic as he looked, his butt didn't look right, I guess, because he's supposed to have a gigantic butt, like a silverback gorilla. She's probably right there. I didn't notice while I was watching, but maybe in my fourth viewing I'll pick up on that. The score, I didn't really notice it that much. It didn't distract me though, so it must have been pretty decent. I liked that Kong was a good guy, kind of, but not overly so. He's still a menacing creature. I think they did a great job. I think it's a good kaiju movie. It definitely feels more like a King Kong. It definitely feels more like the King Kong series movie, like a Son of Kong or something like that, rather than the origin story that we've now seen 3 times. So I'm glad that they didn't give us another origin story. All of those are great, except for the only Kong movie that I don't like anymore is the 76 version. I don't feel it holds up. Saw it again last week, but I'll talk about that in another video. But this one is well worth seeing more than once. I did like what it was. The Vera Lynn song at the end. Been seeing that pop up in a couple movies lately. I can't remember what the last one was. But of course, it ties into the whole anti-war message because that's a song about how the soldiers will be reunited. And Roger Waters obviously used that in Pink Floyd The Wall to say, well, wait a second, my dad didn't come home. So it was interesting to see it used in a context like this. Even though it's a popcorn movie, it kind of it's dipping its toe in some serious stuff, even though it doesn't let any of that stuff overpower the fact that it's a monster movie, and that's good. So yeah, I dug it. I'll be seeing it again. It delivered the goods. The only movie that I'm more excited to see this year is the next Star Wars, so I'm happy. Oh, I can't say appendage up because that's a Roger Ebert trademark, so I'll say 5 stars. Remember when 4 stars used to be the thing? No, 5. I can never tell if a 3-star movie still means good because now they've moved it from 4 stars to 5 stars. Now, like 3 stars is only 2.5 stars. But okay, so let's go on a 4-star scale. I'm giving it 3. It's a 7 on a scale of 1 to 10. So if you want to talk about it some more, give me a holler.